Have you ever stopped to think about how your favorite app knows your username? Or how a search engine can find one word in like a billion books? Well, the secret to all of that magic is something called a string. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you how to become a master of strings in Python. Let's jump right in.
Okay, before we start writing code, let's just pause and ask a question. It sounds simple, but the answer is the key to everything. When you type "Hello World" into your code, what is Python actually seeing? It's not just a random collection of letters. And once you get this, everything else we're about to do is going to click into place.
So the answer is this really simple but powerful idea. Python sees all text as a string. And what's a string? Well, think of it like beads on a string. Each character is a single bead, all lined up in a specific order. The only rule is you have to tell Python where the string begins and ends, and we do that with quotes.
So, which is it? Single quotes or double quotes? Here's the cool part. Python totally doesn't care. They do the exact same thing. And this flexibility gives you a really neat trick. If your text has an apostrophe, like in "it's all right," just wrap the whole thing in double quotes. And if you need to have actual quotation marks inside your text, just use single quotes on the outside. It's a simple little rule that'll save you a ton of headaches later on.
Okay, so we know how to make strings, but to really get good at this, to really control them, we've got to understand how they're built. It's kind of like you can't be a great mechanic if you don't know what's under the hood, right? It's the exact same idea with strings.
And this right here, this is the big aha moment. A string is not one solid, unbreakable block of text. It's actually an array of characters. And that means we can get to every single letter, number, or symbol inside of it. This one idea is what gives us the power to chop up, change, and search for text in any way we can imagine.
Just look at how this is laid out. Every single character, and even the space and the comma, gets its own unique address. We call this address an index. And here is maybe the most important rule in all of programming. We always start counting from 0. So the H isn't at position 1, it's at index 0. You got to burn that into your brain.
So, since every character has one of these index numbers, we can grab any single one we want just by using square brackets right after the variable name. So if we have our "Hello World" string and we ask for what's at index 1, well, we're not going to get H, are we? We're going to get E, the second character in the sequence.
All right, Pop Quiz, let's test this out. We've got the string welcome, and we're asking the code to get the character at index 3. Take a quick second, think about it. What letter is that going to be?
And the answer is C. Hey, if you got that, awesome job. If you didn't, no worries at all. This is the part that trips everyone up at first. You just have to remember to start your count from 0. So well is 0, E is 1, L is 2, which makes C our winner at index 3. So grabbing single letters is pretty cool, but what about finding whole words? What if you have a huge log file and you need to know if the word "error" is in there somewhere? Turns out Python has a super simple, super elegant way to do this. Python makes this so easy it almost feels like cheating. It gives us 2 keywords that read just like plain English, in and not in. You can literally just ask Python, hey, is the word "free" in this text? And it will answer with a simple true or false. Same thing for not in. Is expensive not in our text? Yep, that's true. And this is where things get really powerful. You can use those true or false answers to control the entire flow of your program. With a simple if statement, you can tell your code, hey, if you find this word, do this thing, but if you don't, do something completely different. It's how your programs start to make decisions. Getting one character at a time is useful, for sure. But what if you need a whole chunk of a string, like the first 5 letters or the last 3 words? This is where slicing comes into play. And it's probably one of the most powerful and common tools you'll ever use when you're working with text. Slicing is exactly what it sounds like. We're going to take a slice out of our original string, and the syntax builds directly on what we just learned. We still use the square brackets, but now we give it 2 numbers separated by a colon, a start index and an end index. Now, pay attention because here's the one tricky part about slicing that gets everybody at first. The slice grabs the character at the start index, but it stops right before the character at the end index. The end index is not included. So if we ask for a slice from 2 to 5, we get the characters at index 2, 3, and 4. The character at index 5 is where we stop. That's why the result is hello.
Python also gives us a couple of really handy shortcuts. If you want to slice from the very beginning of the string, you can just leave the start number blank. Super easy. And if you want to slice all the way to the very end, just leave the end number blank. It makes the code really clean and easy to read.
So what if you don't know how long a string is, but you know for sure that you want the last 5 characters? Trying to count from the beginning would be a huge pain. Thankfully, Python has this incredibly elegant solution for it called negative indexing.
With negative indexing, the count starts from the back of the string and goes forward. So the very last character is always index -1. The second to last is -2, the third to last is -3, and so on. This is an amazing way to grab stuff from the tail end of your text without ever needing to know its total length. And guess what? The exact same slicing rule applies here too. If we ask for the slice from -5 to -2, Python finds the character at -5, which is O, then it grabs -4, which is R, then it grabs -3, which is L, and then it stops because it doesn't include the character at the end index, which is -2. So our output is OR L. It's a super powerful way to work backward. All right, time to put it all together. Here is our final test. Looking at this slice on the string welcome, from index 3 to 5, what do you think the final output is going to be? And the answer is CO! That's because the slice starts at index 3, which is RC. Then it takes index 4, which is the O, and it stops right before it gets to index 5, which is the M. If you got that one right, congratulations, you have officially grasped the core concepts of Python string slicing. So, we've covered indexing from the start, searching for words, and slicing from both the beginning and the end. You know the rules of the game now, but I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. There's actually a third, optional number you can put into the slice syntax. And with that little secret, you can do some amazing things. So here's your mission. Can you figure out the one single line of slice syntax that would completely reverse any string? Give it a shot.